Alan, I guess you realize I know we're going to miss some people, but we sent letters out to probably 150 people, and have gotten about a response of 30. We are going to do a bit of this as an ongoing project, but we wanted to get at least the 30. We're thrilled with the 30, and we're going to have these interviews on display with some memorabilia, which the older guys have been real generous.
Yeah.
You brought stuff too, okay. Well, we're going to have on display. And, you know, we think it's important for our young people to realize what has gone on with our servicemen in this town, because I think there's a loss of this, you know,
right.
War. We don't want a war.
Not.
We don't want a war
Yeah.
for them to realize. We would just like them to realize through history. So then afterwards, not the memorabilia, but the interviews, the audio, the video, the pictures will all go into the Ohio Amy Room. And if there's a project at school or something, it'll be there for the kids to research. Or if you want to come in and find out anything, it'll be there for the public to
right.
use. But it will be an ongoing project. So if anyone says, "Well, I didn't know about this," hey, come on in. You know,
yeah.
we'll just do it. But we're doing it. You know, this is the kickoff, and then we'll just keep
building
over the years. Yeah.
Basically, it's kind of standardized questions.
Okay.
We just want to know, for the record, what branch of the service you were in, how long you served, and what division.
Okay, I was in the U.S. Navy from March of '84 to March of '88. I was...
Or on board what ship, I should say.
Yeah,
business
I was
division.
in the Amphib Navy. We were the ones that carried the Marines around, put them on the beach. We did the amphibious landings. So, in all the old war movies, D-Day and all that, where the boats hit the beach and the ramps went down, the Marines went flying to the beach, and the boats got blown out by drove the boats.
So, since I don't think we're invading any place in that time period, what were your everyday duties? I mean, did you keep up maintenance, or what were your primary functions, I guess?
Starting off, my primary functions just daily maintenance on the ship. So the ship I was on was the USS Ogden. It's the amphibious LPD, amphibious landing platform deck is what it stands for. We can land helicopters on our flight deck, Harriers. In the back, we can bring boats in to land the Marines. So my duties were to bring the boats in the back, normal maintenance on the ship. Anytime we pulled into port, hooking the mooring lines up, dropping the anchor, things along those lines.
Okay.
Until I got a little bit further in, I was assigned to one of the boats, and that was my primary duty, was maintenance on a 36-foot boat.
Okay.
Yeah, there's
So why don't you just tell us a few, in your own words, things that you did on board ship, just kind of carry on from there as what you did driving the boat and
Stories.
Yeah.
Actually, I was fairly lucky. I was assigned to the captain's gig, which was the captain's boat every time we went overseas. And our captain was an avid scuba diver, and his wife would meet us at every port. So my boat was the first one to hit the water when we come close to port, and my basic duties was to make sure it was painted nice and everything shined and cleaned and running order. And when he wanted to go scuba diving, they would pack a lunch for us, and we'd take them out where they wanted to go, drop anchor, and we'd lay out on the cushions on the motor and wait for them to come back up. That was pretty easy duty, especially overseas. I was in the Philippines, Tasmania, Australia, Hong Kong, Singapore.
So how was your personal life when you entered the service? Were you drafted, volunteer,
No,
were you
volunteer.
married, or?
I was 21, so I went in late. I was married. Jobs weren't the easiest thing to find at the time, and so I went to the land of great mistakes, as they call it, Great Lakes Naval Base for boot camp, and left there, went to Long Beach, California.
Did you have other siblings that were in the military?
My father was in the Army.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, but not. My brother works for the Air Force, but he's not in the
Not
Air
in
Force.
the service. Okay. And did you, I'm assuming, made some pretty good friends while you were in the service? And have you managed to keep in contact with them through the years, or?
Yeah, I was supposed to go to one of the guys' wedding last October, but ended up going to Scotland instead. So, but he and I have made in contact, and I've got a few others we talk to once in a while. Got one in Boston, one in Arizona, and a couple in Indiana.
Were there any police actions or objectives or any alerts like that while you were on board ship that you would like to talk about?
Well, Grenada was a big one that when I was in. I was probably about 3,000, 4,000 miles away when the Stark was hit, when USS Stark that was bombed. That's probably about the two major things that happened when I was in.
Did you have to go to Grenada?
No. No, I just was out of boot camp at that time. I went to California, so we were on the other side.
Reflecting back on your military service, if you could highlight one positive experience out of that, what would it be?
More than one.
Okay, you can have more than one, that's okay.
Trying to pick a highlight. I would have never been able to go to places I went to. So I've been to Hawaii a couple times, say Philippines, Hong Kong, Singapore, Thailand, Korea, Japan, Australia. Out
You want to join the Navy?
of the 4 years I was in the service, I actually sat down and figured up all the times that we left and went somewhere, either just playing the games or I've been to Vancouver, Canada, Mazatlan, Mexico for Olympic Sports. Probably the worst trip we had, we left January 2nd from Long Beach, California, went straight to Adak, Alaska in January. It was up there for about 30 days before we left, so that's probably the worst experience we had.
Was it a little cold?
Just a tad, yes. Now, there's some pictures in the books I brought of Adak, but I spent 2 years out of the 4 years I was in out to sea. So half my time we were out of port.
And how did that affect your marriage back home?
I'm now divorced from that wife and remarried. So
Okay, why?
I can't say the military was an entire problem with that.
You did good second time.
But it is a strain. I know I'm friends
Yeah.
with families, and it's tough.
But the shipboard life is not the easiest life per se. You have to stand duty, so you're not always home. I mean, so at any moment you could have your stuff packed up and be shipped out, so you don't never know what's going to happen.
And on the flip side of that, if you could highlight any negative aspect of military life, what would that be?
I really had no negative aspects.
Did you?
No. I never regretted the moment I was there. And actually, if they had moved me from California to Tennessee to a different base, I would have stayed here.
Would you?
Yeah.
Did your military experience kind of carry over into your civilian career? Did that help you?
Actually, I was a police officer before I went in the military
Mhm.
with Waynesville, and so I sort of picked that up again when I came back. It was actually on leave of absence for military duty, and it sort of gave me a greater understanding. So I dealt with a lot of different people while I was in the Navy. There's a lot of Filipinos in the Navy that don't speak very good English. So on a 500-foot ship, and you're out to sea for 6 months at a time, and you get
Learn
used to
to
dealing.
speak Filipino.
Yeah, you get real good at dealing with people of different cultures.
Yeah.
Which you wouldn't do here.
No. But it was really nothing sticks out that I regret being in the Navy.
Okay. And go ahead.
I'm just saying that's wonderful.
Just to kind of finish up, this would be like an open forum, whatever remarks you would like to make for posterity's sake, this will go into history, regarding the military, your opinions of it. Any remarks in closing?
I think every kid when they get out of high school should do at least 2 years before they go on to college. I really do. It makes. I was 21 when I went to boot camp, so I was a little bit more mature than the kids that were 18 going in, and I could see what it did to them, so I know what it did to me. But I could actually see the younger kids going through and growing up through boot camp, and then getting on the ship, dealing with the younger kids, and watching them grow on the ship. It's just tremendous. It would not hurt anybody to go in the military before they go to college. That just,
I agree.
just the discipline they instill. I can't say that I would wish everybody go in the Marines. And nothing against any of the Marines I know, but I dealt with quite a few Marines. I would not recommend that for everybody. But
That's great.
Great.
Thank you.
yep.
Ralph Peters.
And we have
Okay.
red lighting.